The Badgers are now into the second half of the Big Ten schedule with the Friday night home game against the Maryland Terrapins. We'll check out some of the highlights from that game. We'll also take a look back earlier in the week, a Tuesday night road game at Nebraska where the Badgers got the job done. They continue to play well away from home. We'll also give you a quick introduction to a young man who's probably going to be pretty good in that Badgers front line in the coming years. Redshirting this year, Minnesota native Joe Hedstrom, and we'll have our weekly sit down with head coach Greg Gard. All coming up on today's edition of the Badgers Sports Report.
Really hot from three-point range. Here's Happ backing on Bruno Fernando. On the reverse layup, left to right is good. Happ with 8. That is 28-25 Maryland. 10 seconds left in the half. Badgers can take the final shot. Down to 7. Trice at the top. Moves to the right. Feeds Pritzel. 3-shot right corner. It's good. Brevin Pritzel. Bounce pass to Pritzel left corner. Back out to Ford. They rotate to Trice. Ford will catch left side in the Reavers. Made in the lane. Turns up right hand. Off the rim. No. Ford the tip. Yes. Lean Ford on the follow. 43-42 Maryland. Happ left elbow. Ethan against Lindo. Turned it out to Davison for 3. Tiger. Brad Davison a triple from the left side. Here we go. Trice looking. He'll flip it left corner for Davison who sticks a 3. Hit the quick one on the baseline out of bounds. Davison open and he dropped it in for the left corner. Throws to Davison at the top of the circle. Back to Trice. Left side under the arc. Throws to Davison up top for 3. Good! Brad Davison with another big shot. 54-52 Wisconsin with 6 minutes to play in Madison. Going to Davison right of the circle. Goes into half low on the right. Kicks it out to 4. Good look at a 3. Right side. Got it! There it is, a lean forward, a triple. He has 7, 57-55, Wisconsin with 4:30 to play.
Aleem was huge. You know, I think not only him hitting shots and getting to the rim, but defensively, rebounding, boxing out. You know, those are 2 big guys down there. You got to keep them off the boards. So I think everyone will notice the points that he scored, but he did a lot of other really good things for us.
Just staying confident, trying to get in and get some more extra shots up, but just staying confident and believing in yourself and just believing that the next one will fall because these guys believe in me, so just believe in myself.
One dribble, the toss to Trice high on the left. He'll give it up to Davison. 15 on the shot clock. Davison looks it over. Tossed it into half left to the lane. Backing on Fernando. Ethan backing and backing out the Ford for 3 right side. Yes, sir! Aleem Ford is in rhythm. He has 10. 62-56 Wisconsin.
I thought the crowd was amazing. That they did a great job. Students were really into it. Whether the whiteout made a difference in adding more adrenaline to the building or not, but that's the electricity and noise level we need in this place, and there was definitely a boost for us tonight. So I'm thankful for those guys, everybody that showed up, those that are driving home or got home already. Just keep it rolling in terms of that energy level and excitement in the building. But like I mentioned, guys were, I thought the second half dialed in and did a really good job defensively, able to make some shots at the right time, and a terrific job taking care of the ball. And Ethan Happ was Ethan Happ. He was phenomenal.
This is Wisconsin basketball. Stolen by Ethan Happ. Happ to the rim, and he hammers it down with the right hand. He'll drive to the goal and hammers it down. And running into Davison, who takes the charge again. The feed to Trice, who splashes a triple. Out the 4 for 3, left of the circle, tie game.
The Badger Sports Report with Greg Gard is presented by Hy-Vee, where there's a helpful smile in every aisle. Hy-Vee proudly supports the Wisconsin Badgers. And UW Health Sports Medicine, the healthcare team for the Badgers. Learn more at uwsportsmedicine.org.
It's times like these when you've got to stay centered. The 2018 Nissan Rogue, with available Pro Pilot Assist that can help keep you centered in your lane. Experience it only at your local Nissan store. Now the most exciting tech you own is in your driveway.
Get to Nissan, proud supporter of college athletics.
This is where amazing happens. where ideas turn into realities. This is where they developed a better way to observe blood flow, a better way to visualize pediatric heart surgeries before they even happen. You see, at UW Health and the American Family Children's Hospital, they're not just changing the lives of their patients, they're changing the way the world treats complex pediatric conditions. UW Health. Remarkable.
Hy-Vee's Choice Reserve and Prime Reserve beef, arguably the best beef in America. Their quality and flavor are undisputable, undeniable. Let's get ready to be unstoppable! And the winner by unanimous decision, Hy-Vee!
Hi, this is Coach Greg Gard, inviting you to join the Badger Basketball Booster Club. As a member of the Booster Club, you will have the opportunity to participate in a variety of great events, including pregame chalk talks, golf outings, and an away game bus trip. The Boosters play a vital role in assisting our staff and student athletes through fundraising and sponsorship. For additional information on joining the club, please call 608-265-6161. There's no better way to show your support than to join the Badger Basketball Boosters.
It's a huge win. At this point in the season, it's already February. Every Big Ten win is huge, especially the ones at home. You got to protect your own home floor. It's a little bit more special because second time around they got us the first time, so you always want to get some payback there. They're a very talented team. They're a young team, but they're extremely talented. So whenever you can, compete and play against a really good team and come out on the good side, it goes a long ways.
We have some consistent guys, names you hear all the time: Davison, Trice, Happ. But we've been able to rely on other people. And the other night at Nebraska was Charlie Thomas. Tonight, Aline Ford. It gave us a huge boost. And I knew, with them being in foul trouble and going small, we had to go small. They went zone. I wanted to be more mobile and have more shooters on the floor. So Aline would fit that category. And, he hadn't scored in, 3 games, or about that. Am I right? So for him to come in and, miss his first couple, and then, keep firing away and stay confident. He looked over at me once after he missed a shot. I said, stop looking at me. I'm not shooting it for you. Keep firing them if they're good ones.
They were always in my ear saying the next one will fall. Those are good looks as long as I'm taking good shots to just stay confident and just believe that the next one will go in.
I feel like we just had to get over that hump. And then once we got over the hump, we kind of took control of the game. We tried to have the same mindset, just try to be unfazed no matter what the score is, continue to control what we can control. We know that if we executed and did things the way that we know we can.
Late in the second half, when we were down still, there was never a doubt in any of our minds, and that starts in the huddle with Coach Gard, believing in us and believing that we can fight back from anything. And I think a big part of it is, when we get down like that, we know we're not playing our best basketball, and we're always, I wouldn't say hopeful, but confident that it's going to come at some point in the game.
At this point in the year, there's got to be a sense of urgency all the time to make your shots. And especially in the defensive end. But whenever they have a run, coaches are big about momentum. And so momentum not only from game to game, practice to practice, but also throughout a game. So whenever there's an opportunity for their big shot, I'm going to hunt it and seek it. And I have full confidence and trust in my shot.
The grittiness of this group, even when we lost games, that the fight and the willpower has always been really high. But I think this group is starting to understand and embrace. Not that they didn't understand and appreciate the defensive end, but they've really dialed it up defensively. And the first half wasn't great. Second half was much better when they held them below 1 point per possession. But I think they understand how important that is and that edge that they have to play with on that end. Knowing that there's going to be times you're not going to shoot the ball exceptionally well, that you can always rely on your defense. So I think there's been they've taken that up a level or two, and then we've done a better job, for the most part, taking care of the ball and making some shots at key times.
Progress is an endless challenge. Here at the University of Wisconsin, we're a community of innovators in constant motion. We think on our feet, connect with each other, and hit our stride, pushing past limits. Progress is an endless challenge, but it is only those up to the challenge who change the game.
Cutting Khalil Iverson out to Davison, high on the right. Davison against Allen on the right wing, turns it out to Thomas. He'll try a three. Good. Charlie Thomas for three, and we're tied at 40 with 11:25 to play.
Sure they didn't have that in the Nebraska scouting report, did they?
Be a couple of road games this week for the Badgers. Wednesday night at Minnesota up at Williams Arena, and then Saturday at 11 a.m. Central Time tip in Ann Arbor against the Michigan Wolverines. Obviously taking a look back at this past week as well. And hitting the road again. The road has been pretty good here for the Badgers for a long time, and so far so good this season. To go into Nebraska, I know, Greg, when you played them, they're going through a tough stretch. They lost a key player in Isaac Copeland, but it's still playing in Lincoln, which isn't easy. And for your guys to, great start, and then after that, weathered the storm. I know that's a cliche, but your guys were able to do that in an environment that can be pretty tough. That's
right.
Pretty impressive.
It's been a pretty daunting environment for most teams that have gone in there, and we were able to. And typically on the road, you have to fight through some form of adversity, and you'd like to have it, jump out to a big lead and cruise for 40 minutes, but that's very unlikely, specifically in this league where the crowds, the teams, the coaches, they're going to be well prepared, and there's going to be some fight back. And I definitely anticipated that would happen with Nebraska, even though when we jumped to a lead there early, that there was going to be some type of pushback and they were going to make some plays. They've got two good players that are upperclassmen, and then obviously the crowd get behind it a little bit and make a pushback. But I was proud of our guys, how we were able to rally and respond and then close the door there in the last 5, 6, 7 minutes.
I know we talked before the game about there's that you're a little leery. We've seen Badger teams respond well when you lose a key player. Kind of waiting for that for Nebraska, and actually, to their credit, they did, as you said. But when you lose a guy like an Isaac Copeland or anybody suddenly, sometimes you can play to an even higher level.
Oh, there's no doubt. There's a rallying cry, so to speak, that you kind of want to do it for him and rally around him and make it about trying to honor him or help him through that emotionally. And it does become an emotion. We've gone through it ourselves, and it can work both ways. It can kind of catch you and kind of put you in a daze, like what just happened. And I think they'll get better as they go on from this because I have more time to adjust and prepare without him. That's a big adjustment. But typically that first one you always are very leery of. If you're the opponent going in right after an injury or after some type of adversity that happens, that you might get you're going to get a different type of effort and a more, like you said, reaching a higher level of playing, maybe higher than what they have been playing before.
Well, certainly a theme in recent games for the Badgers have been players not named Hap. I mean, Ethan, if he gets a triple-double or scores 30, that's obviously wonderful, but you've had different games, different players, and on Tuesday night it was Charlie Thomas. And
right.
Well, all credit to him because the minutes have not been great for him, and you put him in there in the second half, and box score shows 6 minutes, 5 points, 3 boards, a block. That was big, though. You needed all
boost.
Of the above there.
It was a huge boost. And at a time when Nate was in foul trouble, because of Nate's foul trouble, Ethan was having to play too many minutes, and I thought fatigue was starting to impact his play. And then I was trying to find the matchup for Charlie to go in and put him in a comparable or a situation of success defensively, and we found it there, and he went in and made the most of it. When we needed a spark, and that 17, 15,000, whatever was in there was starting to go ramp it up a little bit. He was our answering card, and he did a terrific job. And credit to him for always being ready, because like I said, you mentioned the minutes have been based on matchups, and the game has become so positionless and so perimeter-oriented at times. It's hard to find teams that play a lot of two big guys together. So he's stuck with it, and he's stayed the course, and obviously be able to come in and give us a huge boost there the other night.
Yeah, you're right. It's great for him. I can't imagine that's easy. You're in your senior year, and you're not playing a whole lot. I would think it'd be easy to succumb to temptation and just kind of, let me just kind of ride this train here
right.
for a few more weeks, and that doesn't appear to be the way
that's a
he's
credit
rolling.
for him that he's very competitive, and like you said, somebody of lesser, I think, of a lesser character would have checked out, and would have walked away from it, or would have said not been ready for that situation. That tells me how he played, told me that mentally he was locked in. There wasn't a feeling sorry for himself or a woe is me the minute he went in, he was on the glass, he blocked a shot, he got a rebound, put it back in, and that was a hit the three that tied the game back up. But that told me with how he responded instantaneously that he wasn't sitting on the bench sulking and feeling sorry for himself, so that's a good sign.
There is a history of that here, and I think of Rob Wilson, a couple of big games he had, Ray Nixon, you know, who played. We're not talking about guys who just get a minute here, a minute there, but there are stretches they don't play much, and that you always talk about fits and guys who, you know, not everybody's going to be a superstar, but to be able to deliver like that.
And be ready when your time. You never know when your number's going to be called, and if you're not, if you're thinking about yourself or consumed in outside things mentally, when you do get your number called, you won't perform at a high level. And fortunately, Charlie was ready to go.
Well, we're obviously in the portion of the schedule now where you're seeing teams for the second time, having just played Maryland. Now you're going to Minnesota. You have Michigan. Give us an idea. Preparation time wouldn't be less in intensity, but maybe shorter in duration.
Yeah, we have less time between games. You know, we've come through a stretch here of playing, 3 games in 9 days with really no day off in between. And now as we hit the second lap, now there'll be a couple here, 3, I guess, actually this second round that we haven't played yet, Michigan State, Ohio State, Indiana, that we'll be able to dive in a little bit deeper. But typically with the teams that we've seen once, you're getting that point in time of the year where you weigh preparation versus fatigue and how much is too much. So you're trying to find that right balance and making sure that we're fresh and we're healthy and we're ready to go. Because the game, we're not reinventing the wheel here. We understand what the game is about. We know what makes us good and what makes the other teams good, and we have to make sure we're mentally and physically ready to go those nights.
All right, Badgers and the Gophers on Wednesday night at the Barn. That's an 8 o'clock tip at Williams Arena, and then Saturday at the Chrysler Center in Ann Arbor, Wisconsin and Michigan, 11 a.m. Central Time. Coach Gard returns in a few minutes with a Great Dane. Great question of the week. Stick around.
Hy-Vee's Choice Reserve and Prime Reserve Beef, arguably the best beef in America. Their quality and flavor are undisputable, undeniable. Let's get ready to be unstoppable! And the winner by unanimous decision, Hy-Vee!
It's times like these when you've got to stay centered. The 2018 Nissan Rogue, with available Pro Pilot Assist that can help keep you centered in your lane. Experience it only at your local Nissan store. Now the most exciting tech you own is in your driveway.
Get to Nissan, proud supporter of college athletics.
Ever since she can remember, she's wanted to become a doctor, a surgeon to be exact. Maybe it's because she's good at science, or because she loves math, or maybe it's because Lydia was born with a serious craniofacial anomaly, a cleft lip and palate that required a series of complex surgeries. And now she just wants to help others, just like the surgeons at UW Health helped her. UW Health and the American Family Children's Hospital. Remarkable.
The Learfield Directors Cup, the highly recognized mark of distinction in college athletics across all divisions, both men's and women's sports. Follow your favorite team's pursuit for excellence in this prestigious annual award through thedirectorscup.com, USA Today, or at L Directors Cup on Twitter or Facebook. Learfield Directors Cup, the crowning achievement in college athletics since 1993.
Tommy McGlynn on the floor to JT Petrie. Zach Robinson, they go inside. Matthew Rader low on the left, up no good. Hedstrom the rebound.
There are days where you feel like you're kind of getting punched, and there are days where I feel like I'm delivering a little bit more of the punching. But I'm just kind of learning to lock into certain habits. I think that'll help me be successful down the road, and that'll carry me throughout my career. And I'm just being able to just watch guys like Ethan. He just leads by his example, how he takes care of his body, how he treats the game, how he approaches it, how much time he spends preparing and stretching and all that stuff. It's like, it's no accident that he's one of the best players in the country. He really works hard on all those things and puts the hours in. So I've learned from just watching him. And another thing Ethan's said in an interview before that I was watching is he said, you know, you got to learn to play slow. The first pass or the first move isn't always the best one. And sometimes I have a tendency to just, I get in a panic. So watching him slow things down and read, you know, just that moving a little slower, not always having to use the quickness, but then utilizing quickness when it's, you know, just reading the game. I think all the posts I've watched them, and they're good at that, so I'm trying to learn that. I mean, the bench mob, we try to bring a lot of energy every game. That's super fun. So, I don't know, I love hanging out with those guys, and we're able to see some of the same things and talk through it, and I just think it's helpful to have that community.
I think it's important for those guys to have a little buddy system of red shirts, of guys who are in that same boat together, and they're there pushing each other every day in practice, because at times it can be challenging, it can be tough. The reward isn't there yet. It's at the end. The reward is at the end of the tunnel here, and it's a long tunnel for those guys, but they got to continue, and they've had a great approach of just trying to get better every single day, and it's nice when you see collectively 5, 6 of them in that group together, pushing each other along, staying positive, getting in the gym, getting extra working.
I feel like I can run the floor pretty well, and continuing to work on my feet to hopefully stay in front of some guards, you know, work on that footwork. But I think just playing hard and at my size, because I don't know, some tall guys just try to only rely on their size, but I'm trying to move athletically and be a presence and just play hard and use that size to my advantage. I need to get better at ball handling, shooting, my post moves, being more comfortable with contact. That's a huge thing for me. Because, you know, I felt pretty strong in high school, and there are some guys that would move me around, but now it's like everybody's very strong. So I think getting that strength and just putting that simply just weight on.
The things I've been most impressed with Joe is just every day his mentality, his effort, his willingness to push himself to try to get better. Whether it's ball handling or finishing in the paint or shooting from the perimeter, he tries his hardest on everything, and you like to see that, because there are times in drills where, you know, we think we got something pretty special. So he's just got to continue to work and apply that to when we get up and down and 5-on-5. But guys who work that hard usually get rewarded at the end.
They are the ones who found a way to isolate a single prostate cancer cell hidden amongst a billion healthy blood cells. The ones pioneering advanced genomic testing in order to create personalized treatment protocols. They are the ones you want to talk to when the diagnosis is prostate cancer. They are the physicians and healthcare professionals at UW Health and the Carbone Cancer Center. UW Health. Remarkable.
It's times like these when you've got to stay centered. The 2018 Nissan Rogue, with available Pro Pilot Assist that can help keep you centered in your lane. Experience it only at your local Nissan store. Now the most exciting tech you own is in your driveway.
Get to Nissan, proud supporter of college athletics.
Hi, this is Coach Greg Gard, inviting you to join the Badger Basketball Booster Club. As a member of the Booster Club, you will have the opportunity to participate in a variety of great events, including pregame chalk talks, golf outings, and an away game bus trip. The Boosters play a vital role in assisting our staff and student athletes through fundraising and sponsorship. For additional information on joining the club, please call 608-265-6161. There's no better way to show your support than to join the Badger Basketball Boosters.
The Learfield Directors Cup, the highly recognized mark of distinction in college athletics across all divisions, both men's and women's sports. Follow your favorite team's pursuit for excellence in this prestigious annual award through thedirectorscup.com, USA Today, or at L Directors Cup on Twitter or Facebook. Learfield Directors Cup, the crowning achievement in college athletics since 1993.
The Badger Sports Report with Greg Gard is presented by UW Health Sports Medicine, the healthcare team for the Badgers. Learn more at uwsportsmedicine.org.
Time for this week's Great Day and Great Question of the Week, and really going off the piece we've seen here today regarding Joe Hedstrom with a trip to Minneapolis coming up. Mitch in, oddly enough, Minneapolis. Would like to get your perspective, Coach. Bigs don't always develop right away, and it seems like Joe is one of those guys who will, but it's going to take some time, like a Greg Steensma, Brian Butts, not to mention some recent players who have rolled through here. But
there hasn't been, I don't know if we've had one yet that has come in and instantaneously made a splash. And whether you go back to Berggren, Luer, Steensma, Butch, Kaminsky, go on down the line. You know, they've come in and taken time, and typically that's very common. That's not just a Wisconsin thing. Big guys, you know, develop a little bit later physically, you know, and mentally. Time to being that big. Sometimes it's a late growth spurt where they haven't had a chance to put on the physical stature they need, or the weight and the strength. So that you have to be patient with bigger guys and understand that that's going to take some time to develop and grow into their body. And Joe's a guy that's gotten a lot of traction here in the past 6 months he's been with us. So weight room progress has been good, and you know, learning what the college game is about, and the physicality and the speed of it is a big thing, and that's typically for a big guy. That's a big adjustment, and the first thing is trying to get your body ready for the college level, and he's in the process of doing that now.
All right, sounds good. Thank you very much, Mitch, for your question. The Great Dane with the location up in Wausau, as well as 4 in Madison, east side of town, downtown Fitchburg and Hilldale. Coach Gard's radio show resumes on Monday night, 7 o'clock at the Great Dane Hilldale location. Badgers at Minnesota Wednesday night at 8, and the Badgers at Michigan Saturday beginning at 11 o'clock Central Time. We'll talk to you next week. Thanks for watching.
It's times like these when you've got to stay centered. The 2018 Nissan Rogue, with available Pro Pilot Assist that can help keep you centered in your lane. Experience it only at your local Nissan store. Now the most exciting tech you own is in your driveway.
Get to Nissan, proud supporter of college athletics.
There is a boy who likes tractors and trains, a boy whose heart was far too strained. He was sick, you see, with a heart that broke. His heart needed fixing, his family needed hope. Enter our doctors with their newfangled tests. Enter our teams whose care is the best. Healthy and happy, the little boy's back, playing with tractors and trains on his track. UW Health and the American Family Children's Hospital. Remarkable.
Progress is an endless challenge. Here at the University of Wisconsin, we're a community of innovators in constant motion. We think on our feet, connect with each other, and hit our stride, pushing past limits. Progress is an endless challenge, but it is only those up to the challenge who change the game.